Sometimes, the saddest stories do not begin with a tragedy. They begin with a small decision that feels harmless in the moment. A phone call ignored, a message left unanswered, a visit delayed until next month. It is about a woman named Maya, her mother, and the phone call she almost ignored. Maya was the kind of person who always looked busy. Her friends joked that she walked like she was late to a meeting, even when she was just going to buy coffee. She worked in a glass office tower in the city, wore a badge on a lanyard, and lived by her calendar. Her days were full of notifications. Emails, group chats, reminders, alerts. Her phone was almost always in her hand, but not for calls. Calls felt old-fashioned, slow, messy. You could answer them when you wanted. On a Tuesday morning that felt like every other Tuesday, Maya sat at her desk, staring at a long list of unread emails. The office buzzed with quiet noise, keyboards clicking, printers humming, distant laughter from some other department. Her manager had just sent a message marked urgent. Her head already hurt, and it was not even 11. Her phone lay next to her laptop, screen down. She told herself she needed to focus. Then it happened. Maya flipped the phone over without thinking. The caller ID showed one simple word, Mom. She froze for half a second. Her first thought was not, I wonder how she is. It was, not now. During meetings, while Maya was in the supermarket line, when she was about to fall asleep, and the calls were never quick. How is work? Are you eating properly? You haven't called your aunt in weeks. Every question was wrapped in love, but also in a kind of gentle pressure that made Maya feel like a teenager again, being scolded for coming home late. The phone continued to buzz on the desk. Maya glanced around. Her colleagues were focused on their own screens. No one was watching her. She could answer for a minute. But she could also let it ring, finish these emails, and call back later at a better time. The problem was, there was never a better time. Just a tap, and the sound would stop. She could send a quick text, busy, will call later. Her mother lived alone, yes, but she was still active, still independent. She went to the market, chatted with neighbors, watched her favorite shows. She complained about her knees and the price of vegetables, not about serious health issues. The phone kept ringing. 2 minutes, she told herself. I'll answer for 2 minutes, then I'll say I have to go. She picked up the phone and tried to inject brightness into her voice. Hey, Mom, I'm at work. Everything okay? Oh, I am sorry, Beta. I didn't want to disturb you. I just wanted to hear your voice. I'll let you go. Can we talk later? There was a pause, a small, fragile silence that lasted just long enough for Maya to wonder if the line had dropped. Of course, her mother said finally. We can talk later. Take care of yourself. I love you. I love you too, Maya replied quickly, already moving her cursor back to her emails. I'll call you tonight, okay? She hung up and exhaled, as if she had just finished a task instead of a conversation. The entire call had lasted less than 30 seconds. Meetings bled into more meetings. At lunch, she ate at her desk, crumbs on the keyboard. In the late afternoon, there was another urgent request, another last-minute change from a client. More than once, her thoughts drifted back to the phone call. Not just softness, something a little shaky, but every time the feeling rose, she pushed it down. She always sounds like that, Maya told herself. She's just lonely. I'll call her tonight. It's fine. The city was lit up with 1,000 artificial stars. Office windows, street lamps, advertisement screens. Maya's head felt heavy, her shoulders tight. She drove home through traffic, the radio playing songs she barely heard. At home, she kicked off her shoes, changed into an oversized t-shirt, and microwaved leftovers from the night before. She ate in front of her laptop, responding to a few more emails, just to get ahead for tomorrow. Her phone lay face down on the table. It was only when she reached for it to set an alarm that she turned it over and saw the screen. 3 missed calls from Mom, 1 message. She tapped the message icon. I am not feeling well. It is probably nothing. Call me when you are free. Suddenly, the room felt too quiet. The leftovers in her stomach turned to stone. Maya's fingers shook slightly as she hit the call button. No answer. She hung up and tried again. Still nothing. Her mind began to race. Maybe the phone was on silent. Maybe her mother had gone to the neighbor's apartment. Maybe. Maybe it was not. Nothing. Maya grabbed her keys and ran. The drive to her mother's neighborhood normally took 30 minutes. That night, every traffic light felt like a personal enemy. She gripped the steering wheel so hard her knuckles turned white. Her mind shouted questions at her that had no answers. Why didn't you call her right after work? Why did you rush her off the phone? Why did you assume you would always have more time? By the time she parked outside the squat old building where she had grown up, her chest was tight, and not just from running up the stairs. She rang the doorbell with more force than necessary. For a moment nothing happened. Then the lock clicked, and the door opened a few centimeters. Her mother's face appeared in the gap. She looked smaller than Maya remembered. She wore an old sweater, her hair loosely tied back. Her skin was a shade paler than usual. One hand was on the doorframe, steadying herself. Mom, Maya said, relief and fear crashing into each other. Why didn't you pick up the phone? I was lying down. I felt dizzy and did not want to worry you. I knew you were busy. Maya stepped inside, the familiar smell of the apartment washing over her, spices, old books, laundry detergent. The walls were the same, the furniture the same, but her mother looked different. Fragile in a way Maya did not want to name. She helped her mother to the sofa and gently sat her down. How long have you been feeling like this? Maya asked. Since the afternoon, her mother admitted. I thought it would pass. Then I sent you a message. When you did not call, I told myself, she must be in a meeting. I should not disturb her. The words hit Maya harder than any accusation. She called the emergency number with shaking fingers and explained the situation. They recommended bringing her mother in to be checked. Maya helped her put on a scarf and shoes, her movements clumsy but careful, like dressing a child. At the hospital, under bright white lights, her mother seemed even smaller. Machines that beeped and hummed surrounded her. A nurse took her blood pressure. A doctor asked questions. Any chest pain? Shortness of breath? History of heart problems? Her mother answered in a calm, almost apologetic tone. It is probably nothing, she kept saying. I am bothering everyone for no reason. The doctor shook his head gently. Let us be the judge of that, okay? After some tests, they determined it was a minor heart issue. Not a full heart attack, but a warning. A small tremor before a potential earthquake. We want to keep her overnight for observation, the doctor told Maya. She sat in the hard plastic chair next to the hospital bed, watching the slow rise and fall of her mother's chest. With every breath, Old memories surfaced, her mother staying up at night when Maya had a fever as a child. Her mother walking her to school on the first day, pretending not to be nervous. Her mother working extra shifts so Maya could buy a dress for graduation. And now, here they were. The roles reversed. The child in the chair, the mother in the bed. "You look tired, Beta," she whispered. "You did not have to come so fast." Maya laughed softly, but it came out more like a sob. "I should have come sooner," she said. "I should have called sooner. I saw your message hours ago, and I was busy answering emails." Her mother shook her head, tiny against the hospital pillow. "I know your life is busy," she said. "I do not want to be the reason you get in trouble at work. When you were small, you cried and I came running. Now you are grown. I must learn not to cry so much." "Mom, promise me something," Maya said, taking her mother's hand. "If you ever feel unwell again, you call me and you keep calling until I answer. If I am in a meeting, I will walk out. If I am asleep, I will wake up. I don't care." "I want to be disturbed." Her mother smiled, a tired, beautiful smile that came from somewhere deep inside. "I was afraid you would be annoyed," she admitted. "You are always rushing." "I would rather be annoyed," Maya replied, "than sit in this hospital wishing I had picked up the phone sooner." For a while they sat in silence, fingers intertwined. The machines beeped softly, marking the rhythm of a heart that was still working, still beating, still here. In that silence, Maya realized something simple and painful. Her mother's calls were not just interruptions in a busy day. They were small lifelines thrown across the distance between their lives. Every time Maya ignored them, she was not just saving time. She was cutting those lifelines, one by one. Later that night, after her mother had fallen asleep, Maya stepped out into the hospital corridor. She leaned against the wall and closed her eyes. The fluorescent lights buzzed. Somewhere, a baby cried. Somewhere else, someone laughed. She took out her phone and opened her call history. There were many names, colleagues, clients, friends she had not seen in months. And scattered among them like small, stubborn flowers pushing through concrete were her mother's calls. Some answered. Some missed. Some never returned. How many chances do we get, she thought, before the phone stops ringing? The next morning, the doctor came with good news. The issue had been caught early. With medication and regular checkups, her mother could go home. It was not a guarantee of forever, but it was a second chance. On the drive back to the apartment, her mother tried to make light of it. "See?" she said. "I told you it was probably nothing. Everyone made such a fuss." Maya glanced at her, her hand steady on the steering wheel. "If this is nothing," she said softly, "I don't ever want to see something." They both laughed, and this time the laughter did not hide anything. It simply sat between them like a small shared blanket. Back at the apartment, Maya helped her mother inside. The living room looked just like it had the day before, but it felt different to Maya now, more fragile, more important. Her mother sank into her favorite chair by the window. "You should go to work," she said. "You have already missed so much. I will be fine." Maya shook her head. "I already sent my manager a message," she replied. "I told him my mother was in the hospital. I am staying today." Her mother looked surprised. "What did he say?" He said, take care of her. Work will be here tomorrow." "He sounds like a good man." "He is," Maya agreed. "And even if he wasn't, I am still staying." A neighbor who used to bring sweets. the dog they had when Maya was 4. Each photo was a proof that her mother's life was not just mom. She had been a young woman once with friends, dreams, fears, jokes. Somewhere along the way, she had become a background character in Maya's busy life. Now, slowly, she was stepping back into the center of the frame. In the weeks that followed, nothing dramatic happened. There were no sirens, no emergencies. Her mother took her medicine, went for checkups, adjusted to a slightly slower version of her old routines. The change happened in Maya. She added a new rule to her life, a simple one. If mom calls, I answer. If I truly cannot answer, I call back as soon as I can. It did not fix everything. She was still busy. They were appointments she kept with gratitude. Sometimes the conversations were short. Did you eat? Yes, Mom. Are you sleeping enough? I am trying. Sometimes they were longer, wandering through memories and recipes and neighborhood gossip. Sometimes they were just quiet, both of them breathing on either end of the line, saying little but feeling the other's presence. Months later, on another ordinary Tuesday, Maya's phone rang in the middle of a meeting. She glanced at the screen. Mom! People around the table looked at her, expecting her to silence the phone. Instead, she stood up. I need to take this. In the hallway? She answered with a smile in her voice. Hi, Mom. Her mother laughed. I was only calling to ask what I should cook when you come on Sunday. But I can hang up if you are busy. Maya leaned against the wall, feeling the quiet joy of a second chance being used well. I'm never too busy to talk about your cooking, she said. Tell me the options. As her mother listed dishes, arguing with herself about which one Maya liked best, Maya realized something simple. We cannot control how long we have with the people we love, but we can control how often we let their voices reach us while they are still here. Sometimes love is not in grand speeches or big gestures. Sometimes it is as small as answering a phone call you could have ignored. This story is not about a miracle cure or a perfect relationship. It is about a woman who almost kept choosing work and noise over a voice that had been calling her since she was born. And it is about the day she decided to stop ignoring that voice. If you are still listening, think of the person whose name appears on your phone that you sometimes swipe away. A mother, a father, a grandparent, an old friend. Ask yourself one simple question. If this call were the last one, would you wish you had answered? You do not have to fix every problem. You do not have to spend hours on the phone every day. But one answered call, one message that says, I am here, I hear you, can be the difference between regret and peace. Thank you for listening to the story of the phone call she almost ignored. Maybe you will send a message. Maybe you will make a call. Maybe you will visit someone who has been waiting a little too long. And if you want more long, calm stories about family, relationships, and the feelings we don't always say out loud, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Wherever you are, I hope you remember one person today who once picked up every single time you called, even when you were too young to say thank you.